during those non-travelling months that I offered to write the foreword and later an accompanying text to my friend Ian Marshall's planned new collection of his original paintings of fighting warships of the Second World War, all of which that were included in the physical copy of this book can be found in the bonus material. For a little while I could take time away both from Kipling and from my reflections on what had been happening to the great powers since the first edition of Rise and Fall. It would be easy to compose a simple narrative of the maritime events of the period 1939 to 45, and it would be fun to work with a renowned maritime artist. Ian had just been elected the president of the American Society of Marine Artists, with the support of Yale University Press, a publisher who would respect the need to integrate Ian's paintings into the specific chapters and narrative of this book. I commenced drafting. After a further year or so, when I had returned to teaching at Yale, other changes had occurred. The first was Ian's sad and unexpected passing at home just before Christmas 2016. He was an artist of remarkable and original talent, as those who possess his beautiful books on armoured ships, flying boats, cruisers, and La Guerre de Course and Passage East well know. He had been painting almost to his very end, however, and sending fresh naval portraits from his studio to me, as well as detailed, fully researched descriptions of all the works already completed. It seemed only proper, indeed I was compelled, to finish and have published our joint project. I miss his gentle manners, his great professionalism, and his remarkable erudition in the realms of maritime history and warship design. Each painting is not only a fine work of art, but also an understated display of Ian's impressive topographical and historical knowledge. The other major change from the original plan was an intellectual one, which had slowly taken shape while I was thinking about and drafting the middle chapters of this book. The more I saw the story unfold, from those early successive blows by the Axis on the Anglo-American navies, Norway, the fall of France, Crete, Pearl Harbor, Manila, and Singapore, to the amazing turnaround of fortune in the midst of this gigantic conflict, the more motivated I was to return to probing the deeper reasons for the transformation. Ian's illustrations alone, even as I was choosing where to insert them, were telling us something here. One painting for the year 1940 showed a battle-worn destroyer disembarking British troops after the Dunkirk disaster, painting 17. Another, for late 1941, portrayed the HMS Prince of Wales and HMS Repulse in Singapore Harbour, just days before their destruction by Japanese naval air power, painting 26. Yet the paintings for the year 1944 show something quite different, like that one of rows of American fleet carriers stretched across their anchorage in Ulithi Atoll, an image of limitless naval power, painting 41. In a mere 2 years, more or less, the world had changed. Something had happened to cause this huge alteration in the maritime balances, and it simply wasn't enough to state that the U.S. Navy was by now sending more and more new aircraft carriers to the Pacific and therefore was able to advance. Somewhere around the middle period of this great war at sea, more exactly as the critical year of 1943 unfolded, a massive shift in the global balance of power took place, a change of fortunes that was both reflected in and helped by alterations in the naval balances themselves. Obviously, this was not the first time that epic, interacting transformations in history had occurred. Century after century, great conflicts between the powers really did change the relative position of states, just as they changed the nations themselves. Had not the distinguished sociologist Charles Tilly, writing of Europe's rise in early modern times, coined that reciprocal phrase, "War made the state," and